Vouch double honors to the apostles and the Lord bishops. Pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. The aqua that are listening and learning being a pillar of rest. 144,000. The 1/3. The hopeful elect of Israel. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. We're going to start at the end. We usually end with this Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, World War III cometh quickly. The third woe. Second World War, third World War. It ain't that. It doesn't mean that. Okay, fine. Get the hell out of here. All right? But explain this on your way out. Canadian Prepper 23 hours ago. Why do you always use a Canadian Prepper? Because he's bringing the news. If it's consistent, I'm going to put it up. Go somewhere else. Just go watch the Canadian Prepper. You don't have to come here. But Canadian Prepper don't do this. The third woe cometh quickly. See, the Bible said that. All right? It was the Bible that said that, not me. All right? We're at the end of this thing. It's explaining it in the Bible. Dumbass. So pay attention to what the first words, all right, in game. Nuclear war with Iran or financial crash. How about all of the above? All right? All of this is in the Bible. The financial crash, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. So listen closely to what is said immediately, the first words. Okay? Very important. We'll let a little bit play because they're explaining some of the things that are going on and why. Not all, but you need to know this information if you care to know what the hell is going on and how to respond to it. How do I respond? Well, you repent and be converted while you still have a chance. Here we go.
We are at an especially critical time in human history. The whole overreaction of Israel to the October 7th attack is a deliberate plan to start a nuclear war.
A deliberate plan? I know he's talking like RFK Jr., but, invest your ear into understanding what he's saying. He said, it's their plan to bring about World War III. And if you look at the bunkers and the underground cities and all of that, hey, they want this thing to pop off. Who put that in their mind? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Listen close.
We are at an especially critical time in human history. The whole overreaction of Israel to the October 7th attack is a deliberate plan to start a nuclear war to destroy Iran. The Russians have hypersonic missiles, and they could sink any of the American aircraft carriers in about 5 minutes. I am scared because of the number of countries involved. Would they consider a false flag operation? I'd say absolutely. We could be in World War III in short order. Inflation's going to go a lot higher. Credit card interest rates are the highest they've ever been. Defaults on subprime auto loans are the highest they've ever been. The banking system is waiting for a 10-knot breeze to blow them over. I hope we have the financial collapse first, and we realize we cannot afford this stupidity. You're not dealing with brain surgeons, you're dealing with idiots. If there was ever a time to prepare for the future, it would certainly be now.
And how do you prepare? You can't find that on the Canadian Prepper. Canadian Prepper is telling you how to prepare carnally. Carnal is not going to get you through this. Carnal is going to get your ass burned up by a missile. Same missiles they're talking about right here. All right? I'll tell you the secret again. I'll bring it out. Repent ye therefore and be converted. That's your way out of this thing. Got to be an Israelite. But if you hear this message, guess what? My sheep hear my voice. Right now, Lord willing, I'm acting as the voice of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Here are his words. Here are the Most High's words through his son, through me. If they hear you, they hear me, and they hear my Father who sent me. Right? Paraphrasing, but repent ye therefore and be converted. That's your way out of this. Now you should be asking, well, how do I do that? Then you're asking the right questions. Anyway, carry on. Wait a minute. UFOs and zombies, right? You got the bug out situation. What's this? Mushroom cloud, UFOs with laser beams, and zombies, right? How about the zombie virus coming back right now? Zombie brain cells or whatever, right? You see what's going on? Wake the hell up. How do you get out of all of this? How do you make the angels your friends? How do you get a ride on a chariot? Okay. Well, stay tuned.
Bye, folks. When it comes to your
they're selling food for what? The apocalypse. Everything is about this. And let me say this, okay? I was in the military. I was in the Army. Okay, I enlisted in 1983. I was like 17. Okay, so did I see combat? No. Right, we were in peacetime during that time. I was in for 2 years. I got an honorable discharge. All right, there are some brothers in this troop that saw combat. Okay, that were in the shit. Don't you think that they know a little more through personal experience, right? What it means to be a soldier, what it means to be at war, not myself, but you got Nate here. Nate, right? Bless his heart, he's talking out the side of his ass. Okay? I think the guy who's speaking here, this guy, was a combat a pilot, right? So what he's saying, he knows about the military aspect of what is going on, right? So it behooves you, right, to have some spiritual discernment as to who to listen to and if you're actually hearing the voice of Yahweh Shem Yahushua or not. And again, I'm just a humble servant. It has nothing to do with me. I'm cool where I sit. Brother Yashawan, right? No title. I'll take brother off. Yashawan, all right? Hopeful of the hopeful, Yashawan of the hopeful elect. How about that?
back again with our distinguished guest, Bob Moriarty. He's an American Marine F-4B pilot who holds the record as the youngest naval aviator at the age of 20 in the Vietnam War, achieving the rank of captain in the Marines at the age of 22. Before leaving military service in 1970, he did 824 combat missions. He's widely known today as a very prudent financial analyst and market forecaster, if you will. And it's a pleasure to have you on again today, Bob, because, you know, we just want to know what the hell is going on with this economy. What is your take on the geopolitical situation around the world? I want to hear your worst case, your best case, your middle of the road case, and how are you doing today?
So this would be a channel that you go listen to if they're talking about these things, so that you get an understanding of what's going on from somebody that was in the NAM, if you will. Okay? So you always go to the Canadian prep. You show me somebody else who's being this thorough, right? And I'll go to him. But what I'll do before that is we'll bring out the precepts and filter this news through the Bible. All right? That's what we do here.
You know, in response to everything that's going on.
I'm doing okay. And strange enough, we should start by me explaining my military background. I went into the Marine Corps a week after I turned 18. I enlisted. I went through boot camp. I was high shooter at the rifle range. I was platoon honor man. And that was a month after the Gulf of Tonkin incident.
which was a false flag operation to get them into the Vietnam War. Because before that, they were just advisors, right? What they call advisors. But they were long in the war at that point anyway. So this was their Pearl Harbor, if you will, event, right? Which is what, when those buildings came down in the middle of New York and Manhattan, was a Gulf of Tonkin incident, if you will. It enabled America to go and bomb and strafe and carpet bomb and destroy any country that they wanted to. And they did exactly that.
So the Marine Corps knew we were going to go to war, and they were looking for pilots. So I'm the youngest naval aviator in Vietnam, not because I'm special.
But because you're the prince of the power of the air.
It started earlier. I controlled hundreds, maybe as many as 1,000 airstrikes, hundreds of artillery missions, dozens of naval gunfire missions. So to say I'm one of the most experienced target selectors in Marine Corps history would be very accurate.
Now, what he's saying is, I can assess a situation, right, on the battlefield, understand what's going on, and do what needs to be done, right, from the aspect of the devil himself, the so-called white man Esau, to further colonize the world. What were they doing? What are you doing dropping bombs in Vietnam? What are you doing dropping bombs in Iraq? It's more the same. What are you doing discovering America under the doctrine of discovery? It's more the same.
Okay, and that's especially important now, trying to figure out what's going on. So let's take one thing at a time. Ukraine. The United States sponsored a $5 billion coup d'etat in 2014. It has been the intention of the United States since 1945 to try to pull the rug out from underneath the USSR or Russia. So there was a coup d'etat, and the easternmost provinces of Ukraine voted in a fair election about 96% to join Russia.
Now, this coup that he's speaking of, spearheaded by Victoria Nuland, no less, right, was the beginning of the war in Eastern Europe. And it actually goes back a couple of years before that to 09, 08 and 09, if you're paying attention.
Russia said, no, you're part of Ukraine and you're not going to join us. But Western Ukraine attacked Eastern Ukraine. And then in 2019, the US DOD paid the RAND Corporation millions of dollars to do a study into how to get Russia to attack Ukraine. So this idea that Russia unprovoked went in and attacked Ukraine is absolute rubbish. The war was fought by and for the United States against Russia. And some of the people like Chuck Schumer says that the few $1 billion that it cost was very cheap to hurt Russia. I know that neocons hate.
What do you mean hurt Russia? It means we're already in World War III. Basically, World War III is about Babylon the Great which is the United States of America against Russia, and then China, and then Iran. Okay, and we're watching it. You got to wake up and understand that we've been at war. Okay, even when I was in, right, there was a skirmish. It was called Grenada. All right, so it's a perpetual war. The reason that we're at war right now, because Biden would go to prison, right, with the war crimes and the things that he'd be in prison right now. Same thing with Netan Bibi. I'll just call him that. He'd be in prison right now if there wasn't a war. All right, which is why these wars are perpetual. It's keeping these criminals employed and justified because the rules. Let's see. For example, the Constitution is rolled back during the time of war. Now you're under the a war. When you're on a wartime footing, you're not under the Constitution. Right now, we're under the Patriot Act and have been. So,
shall want to destroy Russia, but I don't see that as improving the world. So in February of last year, after Ukraine had put 150,000 troops on the border with Donetsk and said they wanted nuclear weapons, those, of course, are red lines. And Putin had said, if you do this, if you try to apply for NATO, we will attack you. And Putin did exactly what he said he was going to do and what he was legally justified in doing. The attacks on Donetsk had killed 14,000 Russian-speaking, Russian heritage citizens by Ukraine in spite of an agreement called the Minsk II agreement in 2016. So where do we stand now? Ukraine lost the war in March of 2022.
which is a month after it started. Pay close attention to what he just said.
And Turkey got Ukraine and Russia to sit down and talk about a peace treaty. And they had actually initialed an agreement to return to the borders of February 2022. The UK sent Boris Johnson over there at the request of the United States to tell Zelensky he could keep stealing as long as he would keep pouring the blood of his young men into the battle. It has destroyed an entire generation of Ukrainians and pretty much destroyed the economy of the country. There was no purpose to it whatsoever except to do damage to Russia.
In World War III. This is the march to World War III. You're in World War III. Why are trains exploding? Why are these chemical spills? Who tried to blow up a bridge? Oh no, it wasn't a blown up a bridge. It was somebody was driving too fast to a Kiss concert.
And in my opinion, that's an evil thing to do. But let's go back to selecting military targets, which I am very good at. The Russians have hypersonic missiles with.
Show your daughter.
We'll watch a little bit more of this and we'll go. The objective is to get you to understand, hey, you're in the middle of World War III and you better wake the hell up. And how do you extricate yourself, right? I'll show you the extrication.
With 1,000-kilometer range that they can operate off of Su-51s in the Black Sea, and they could sink any of the American aircraft carriers in about 5 minutes. You cannot defend against these missiles. A week ago, Ukrainians reported losing 24 aircraft in 1 week with no warning whatsoever from air-to-air missiles that had been fired from 250 kilometers away. For them to be firing undetectable air-to-air missiles from 250 kilometers away is remarkable.
Wait, let me back that up and see what he said again. When did this take place?
And they could sink any of the American aircraft carriers in about 5 minutes. You cannot defend against these missiles. A week ago,
A week ago. Okay. Well, everybody is distracted by what's going on in the Middle East. Guess what? World War III is raging in Eastern Europe. Pay attention.
Iranians reported losing 24 aircraft in 1 week with no warning whatsoever from air-to-air missiles that had been fired from 250 kilometers away.
And there's no way you would know about that because they're not going to put it in the news. Oh, Ukraine is getting their ass whooped. They're not going to put that on the mainstream media. They're not. You have to dig for this information. So when Nate brings on somebody like this who knows what he's saying, right, and being generally even-handed, right, as you can see, and you want information, well, here it is. All right. So go watch this. It's lengthy. It's about an hour or so. And this guy, he's giving it up. What is he saying? We're in World War III. Let's go back. What does this say? Nuclear war with Iran, or, meaning not or, and financial crash. This is all coming. How do you get out of it? Okay. First of all, the scriptures tell you what's going on. All right. Here we go. Here's your way out. And 19, repent, meaning to turn back to Yahweh Bash. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, the Most High and the Son. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Here's the message of the lesson, of the update. Repent while you have a moment to do so. Time is short. Right? What do you mean way out of World War III? Here's your way out of World War III. Your way out, going back to Nate, let me point it out. Let's go to Nate's intro real quick. Let's see where it is. Ah, there it is. It's your way out. Look. This is your way out of World War III. See, these are laser beams, but then they have a tractor beam that comes down, pull you right up into that thing. Right? Let's read about it. Revelation 11 and 11. 12. The witnesses. What is this? That's Berean, Slovakia. Bear with me. Okay. This is your, it's an extraction. Okay. Let's look that up real quick. Micro, let's see, Sirac, false flag, terror attack. What's this? YouTube, narcissist. Military. What did I put? No, not narcissist. Let's get that out of it. Salaki, bear with me. I'll get it right. Extraction, military. In military tactics, Extraction, also exfiltration or exfil, is the process of removing personnel when it is considered imperative that they be immediately relocated, right, out of a hostile. Come on, Satan. In military tactics, extraction is the process of removing personnel or POWs when it is considered imperative that they be immediately relocated out of a hostile environment. The hostile environment is the Valley of the Shadow of Death, also known as Babylon. Out of a hostile environment and taken to an area either occupied or controlled by friendly personnel. In this case, the what do you call it? To the wilderness. Okay. All right. So that's what an extraction is, right? Well, this is the extraction. You're in the war, military tactic, and you want to remove personnel, POWs in this case. Who are the POWs? Right? Well, the nation of Israel. Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, right here in Babylon the Great, which is America. You are a prisoner of war. Now, back to Revelation. This is an extraction. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. Where you at, Nate? Come up hither. Okay? And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. What's this cloud? That's the cloud. Okay? That's another lesson, but there's a cloud right there. They ascended up to heaven in a tractor beam in a cloud. Okay? And their enemies, what? Well, when you're at war, right? When you're in the middle of a war, who's shooting at you? Your enemy. Who's holding you in the prisoner of war camp? Your enemies. And their enemies beheld them. Well, what's the hostile environment? Where's that at? Okay. It is the process of removing personnel when it is considered imperative that they be immediately relocated out of a hostile environment and taken to an area either occupied or controlled by friendly personnel. Okay. So, a hostile environment would be Babylon the Great. We're walking down the street. You could get shot for being black or being an Israelite because you're being hunted. You're a prisoner of war. All right. Now, in the same hour was there a great earthquake. You want to get the hell out of there. Okay. This is that nuclear explosion. Where are we at, Nate? What's this? Guaranteed that represents, or maybe it doesn't, but I'm calling it a mushroom cloud because this is that mushroom cloud right here. This is a nuclear explosion. This is a nuclear holocaust right here. And the same hour was there a great earthquake. There's so many nuclear bombs going off at this same hour that it's shaking the world. The whole earth is quaking. And the 10th part of the city fell. That's Babylon the Great. And in the earthquake, right, caused by the nuclear explosions, were slain of men, everyone that wasn't airlifted, right? If you weren't airlifted, if you didn't come up hither, you're part of the 7,000. 7 means complete, a complete number. Everyone 7,000 men. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. Everyone that wasn't airlifted, right, come up hither. If you missed the airlift, your ass is dead. What does it mean, slain? Dead, killed, right? And if you made it onto the ship, onto the airlift, you were happy as hell. And you were praising the Most High. All right, so we're going to end it right there. We hope that the elect were edified, you brothers and you sisters. Shalom.